All right, thank you for watching. So what's in this video is how to test the voltage on a thermocouple. But here's the water heater. You can see it's pretty banged up. The sight glass is smashed out. I actually worked on this water heater a month ago. I changed the valve on it. Came out, tested the thermocouple at that point. It was still good and replaced the valve. And it ran for about a month. Then the owner called me back up and said the water heater is only running for a day or two, and then it would shut off and ask me if I come out and take a look at it. So what I'm doing here is I'm disconnecting the thermocouple, and then I'm going to measure the voltage on it with a multimeter. I get the pilot light lit, so it's lit right there. And I actually use a clamp to hold the plunger down so that I don't have to continuously do that. That's what's very difficult on those mechanical valves. And then I will hook up the multimeter, which you connect one prong. I actually use alligator clips, so one prong gets connected to the body of the thermocouple. That's the ground. And the other prong will get connected to the tip of the thermocouple. That's what helps you measure the voltage. It actually came in at 10 millivolts. Actually, it was hovering around 7, 9, and it finally got up to 10 millivolts. And you want something between 15 to 30 millivolts. So determined here that the thermocouple is the problem. So disconnecting the burner assembly so I can get in and change the thermocouple. So the first time I worked on this water heater, I noticed that someone else had worked on it, obviously, since the sight glass was broken out and I could tell the thermocouple had been replaced because it's so long. And I noticed some screws were missing from the burner assembly, and I have extra screws with me, so I tried to tighten it back down. But there was no way to do that because they had been stripped out, and I couldn't even get the burner assembly to line up properly. So I was able um, to eventually get enough screws in it to get it to operate. But some people had been into this and worked on it. And this particular type of burner assembly has 3 layers of gaskets. It's got the top layer, there's a plate right there that the main tube is coming out of. Then there's the assembly itself that has another gasket on it. So there, I'm taking off the top plate there. So that gasket's been ripped and is worn pretty well. And then there's another gasket right there. So maybe it's only 2 gaskets, but there's another gasket that goes behind that one that connects that to the burner assembly itself. So it's many layers to to work on this burner assembly, because you can't pull it out directly. You have to pull it out in stages just to get to everything. So I'm working on trying to, that's as far out as I can get it at the moment, because it's hitting back in there. You can kind of see it a little bit. So I have to literally disconnect it all, and every time you do that, it's hard to get it reconnected again and lined up well. So working on the pilot assembly here and getting that disconnected so I can get it out and replace the thermocouple. So the thermocouples can be a little tricky to replace. There's a little sleeve that holds it in place. That's what I'm working on right there with the needle nose pliers, trying to work that loose so I can slide it out there. I got it out. And sometimes they get frozen in there. So now I am disassembling the rest of the burner assembly so that I can thread it back through to reinstall it. So later when I end up taking the entire burner assembly out, I saw that the TRD, which is a thermal reduction device, it's kind of like, it's almost like a little fuse. There's a little glass capsule filled with a fluid, and if that fluid reaches a certain temperature, that means the combustion chamber has gotten too hot. It will cause the glass vial to break, and it closes a little trap door on the bottom that starves the flame out from oxygen and puts out the water heater, or turns the water heater off, and that's to prevent a fire. And that was broken, so the only way this water heater was working is it was pulling in the oxygen that it needs for combustion through that broken glass. So the sight glass there that was broken, it was actually pulling all the oxygen in for there for who knows how long. I think he said 6 years was the last time the other guy came out to replace the thermocouple. So it really wasn't operating the way it was supposed to, but it was working, I guess. But somebody had definitely been in and did quite a bit of work on this thing and didn't really take the time to reassemble it carefully. So I'm just reattaching it here and getting everything put back together. All right, well, sorry about the poor lighting, but that was definitely the problem, was the thermocouple. Reassembling this burner assembly was difficult to say the least. It's just based on the design, trying to get everything put back together and hold a good seal. Really appreciate you watching this video. Please smash that like button if you like it. Hopefully this video helps somebody out in case you're trying to diagnose your water heater and figure out what's going on. May it be the valve or the thermocouple. If you have a basic multimeter, you don't have to have the alligator clips. It just helps out a lot. You don't have to have a clamp. Somebody can help you just pushing down on that plunger, but basically you just want to get that pilot light lit so that you can send whatever voltage you have to the thermocouple, and then you can just measure it. You put your multimeter on DC for direct current at about 2000 because you're measuring less than a volt, and you're looking for something between 15 to 30 millivolts. This one came in at 7.9. I think it topped out at 10, but it was only running for a few days before it would shut off. So really appreciate it, and hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching.